Welcome to track number 16 of All Out.
Number 1, mortgage. I'm ringing directly. No operator, direct. No, you see, there are things which they fail you. You see, when I'm saying, look, listen, the whole camp is that, okay, we are going to run all out, not just part. Okay, there are some things that are in us, they failed us, they don't let us go. Like this vision. So you are going, nobody can see why you can't really go. But like you see, like Dr. Cho was saying, he has another vision, an academic pursuit that has possessed him. So no matter what God says and how much the preaching is, the thing that is in him is a vision. Do you understand? And that is why I told Pastor Paul, we are aimless, so don't come here. We don't have a dream, a vision. Now, there are some things that are not in you. They are outside. When you touch it, you just become engaged. That's what I'm talking about now. I'll just give you about 3 of them. One is mortgage. Mortgage of houses. Buying houses like mortgage. Now, if you take, for instance, our church. You understand? And that is the reason why I am personally against the concept of mortgage. Not because it's not a good business. Because sometimes it can be a good business. And I will be the first to tell you that some people do mortgage and they make a lot of money. Especially if you liquidate at the right time. You make a lot of money. So it's one school of thought. You see, even the fact that I have to explain that. You see, there are certain thinking thoughts here that I have to deal with. And if you don't take care, the message will get spoiled. So, let me preach the real message. When our church was in the basketball pitch, a lot of people were putting pressure. Buy a church. This church has bought a church. This one has bought a church. This one, and they used to say, "We'll buy, no buy, won't buy anything. We'll be in the basketball pitch." Because if you want £1 million, want us to buy £1 million, okay, and we are paying £5,000 every month, that is 60,000 a year, okay, mortgage. 60,000 times how many years? Times 25 that's 1.5 million pounds. And definitely the price that we bought it, that's not how much we will pay. When we buy, let's say we'll pay for about 1 point something million. Alright? That's not how much we will pay. That's not how much we will buy it to come 1.5 times that for the mortgage price. You get it? So now we are going to be stuck for 20 or even let's say 20 years. 1.2 million, which is about what we bought it for. For 20 years, that's from now to the year 2022. Or to the year 2021. Or how many years ago did we buy? 2022. We have to pay £5,000 every month. So when we are doing any offering, fundraising, whatever we get, remember, at the end of the month, you have to come up with 5,000 for the next 20 years. Every church has a life cycle, natural life cycle, like this. Every ministry, it has a life cycle. Every ministry has times when a lot of people come and some people go. People are happy with the vision, people are not so happy with the vision. People come, people go. So we should now commit ourselves for 20 years of such a pressure. Pressure. Can you imagine if you are paying £5,000 every month? Oh, we should be asking, have you got the 5,000 ready? Have you got the 5,000 ready? For 20 years or 25 years to the 2020 something. I say, I don't like it. You understand? I'll stay as I am and suffer in my little room if it's suffering. And then one day when I have enough, I'll pay. I'll pay almost the whole thing. And today we are free. If we take any of it, there's no mortgage, no rent, nothing. Free. It's real. And we use it to do all the things that we are doing. Yeah. And we are free. If people don't want to come there, they shouldn't come. Oh yeah? If you are annoyed with it, that doesn't change anything. If you go. If you decide I won't pay tithe again, it won't change anything. I don't have to preach a message to make you happy because you are a major member in the church and you give £500 every month, and I have to be very careful how I handle you. Because you could easily remove your £500 and that is, 10% of the 5,000. In fact, the bill would have been something like 8,000 because with about 1.5 time insurance, this, that, so many things. You see. So we'll probably be paying about 8,000 or 10,000 a month. Easy. Huh? You want me to do that? I will be changed forever. The church will be changed. We will be affected. We will be bound. We will be connected. We will be entangled. And I said, I don't like it. I would like to be free. I would like to be a free person. You understand? I have not seen anything with as much entangling power as mortgages. As soon as you want to send somebody, Pastor Obi, who is in Nairobi, that's not where I sent him at first. The first place that I sent him was South Africa. I said, I want you to go to Johannesburg. So he went to South Africa on a visit, and then the chain, he was back in London. Easy. No, we were discussing, and there was what. Then one day I had a vision in the night. I was very disturbed in the night. And then I called and I said, I am sending you, I want you to go to Kenya. Then I said to him, you cannot go unless you lose something. And he decided to break out of things. It's not easy to get out. It's not easy to get out. For years and years and years. Real freedom to, like maybe you will not go to work today, or you will not do this job, or you will not, there's nothing which has such power. Because, you know what? The amount of money that you will lose if you lose your mortgage, it makes nonsense of everything. So you have to struggle to make sure that you don't lose it. You know why? Because before you go and get a mortgage, maybe you have to put down £20,000 or 10. That's all your savings and your suffering for a long time. You have to gather all and go and put it there. Then, when it is there, you are now paying every month. So you'd have been paying. Then now, repairs on the house, this and that. Now, that is like you can't pay. You are now 2 months behind, 3 months behind, 4 months behind. So you are owing your monthly mortgage plus about £6,000 and others, and it keeps on building up. Now they are coming for it. So when they are possessing the house, are you with me? They are going to take the house, which is like the rent you've been paying every month and so on, plus the money that your savings that you gathered and put down as a deposit. You get it. Your life savings that is there, you get it. Then they will take the house and auction it. And when they auction the house, they will say that when we sold the house, originally we sold it to you for 200,000. We were only able to get 100,000. So you owe us 100,000. So now you owe 100,000 plus your 25,000 life savings that you put down as your mortgage, plus all the one that you pay, which was more than a normal rent. Because you say, it's just like your rent. Although your rent is like maybe 600, but you pay about 800, 900. So it's like you are paying rent plus extra every month for a long time. So when you add that plus that, and then they do the calculation, they write to you and they, this egg have been scrambled. I tell you. And now they'll put your name on a list in the computer. Yeah, of the people who you owe money, this and that. If one day you get something or they see that you have something, say, you owe us. This and that and that and that. You owe us. When we calculated this and that and we sold the house and that, you are owing us plus interest. come out. Yeah. And you will I remember one brother, he was doing this mortgage. Then he was behind. Then he got a breakthrough. And he had about 9,000 pounds. I said, I'm going to try to redeem it. So he went and put it in to pay. Still, he didn't get to the backlog. And then the next month, there was a problem. They collected everything from him. So now I was thinking, with that 9,000, you could have kept it and, you have something. Because your deposit you put there, plus every breakthrough you have, you added it. And then they take, and then after that, they blacklisted him. He said his name is on this thing. He's now a major, whatever. No credit. This, that. Mercy. Ziggy. So it looks very clever. All they'll say, when you are, I remember one Johnny who had just come, He had just arrived in he was talking to me and he said to me, Bishop, over here, we can all get a house. I said, really? He said, all you have to do is to get a mortgage. I said, really? So mortgage, everybody can get a mortgage. You just pay and it's the same as your rent. I said, okay. That's why I'm going to get a mortgage. I said, okay. Okay. Easy. Uncle John, you've just come. You cannot move easily. You cannot work. You cannot. How many people have tried? We have tried to get them to do the work, or we have to extract them. It's not easy. But I'll be the first to tell you that you can also make a lot of money. Because if you buy the house at 40,000 and you are paying, it works out. One day that price will be 120,000. So if you're able to sell it, you have made a profit. Only that with the profit, you can still not get a better place, because the price of the small one you bought has now become the price of the big one, unless you are taking the money out of the country. It's the same. Or you don't understand what I'm saying? If you've been to class 3, you can understand what I'm saying. Up to class 3 and upwards. So even in the ministry, I know the tensions it brings and the ties that it brings. So there are things that have power to entangle you. And that is one of them. And so if really God has called you and you want to really do whatever God wants you to do, you understand? When you see this thing come, it's, it's just the same as your rent. That's the commonest. It's just like paying rent. There are some small letters that are written under the contract. Small print. Read those ones. It's like insurance. They will sell it to you, tell you this, that when it's time for you to pay, for the insurance company to pay. My father was an insurance lawyer. He used to work for an insurance company at the point. They hire lawyers to make you never collect money from them. Yeah, they hire two things. Salesmen to make you buy, and then they hire lawyers to fight anybody who claims money. That's what they do. That's insurance company. For you. If you come and make a claim that my car is bashed and you need to pay this or this and that is something real, whatever, then they will take up lawyers to look into the thing very carefully and make sure that you do never get what you could really get. Yeah. So they have two sets of employees to get money from you and prevent you from ever getting money. But you will never know. Yeah. Easy. You see, some of us, we are Johnny just come. This is their work. Their work is to get money from simple-minded people like you and I, who don't really understand what is going on. But you see, it's not that. That's not the point is that if really you are to be free, you are not really free. My point is the freedom to serve God, the freedom to love Him, the freedom to do what He says, the freedom to be released, the freedom to be anywhere, the freedom to go anywhere, the freedom to leave any job, the freedom to serve God, to love Him. That freedom has been compromised. That's all I'm saying. Because I can be the first to tell you that some people can become very rich and blessed, prosperous, by doing mortgage. If you do it well and you are led to time everything very well, you can make a lot of profit and money. Do you understand? Especially if you time it very well, you can really do well. if you have the wisdom to time it well. But the point is that you will often compromise the ability to be free. If I call you right now and I say, Mary, I need you to go to Trinidad. Go to Baku. You tell me, I have to sort certain things out. Settle us. They will say to you, settle us before you go. Settle me. Settle us. Huh? What do you think? So that's one. Another is any kind of a loan. Any kind of loan which is not even a mortgage. School loans, loan for this, loan for that, car loan, whatever loan. And you are never able to pay it. Have you ever wondered, ask yourself, what work does a bank do? What work do they do? That everybody who works there is paid a lot of money. What work do they do? Nothing. Only to let you borrow their money, and whatever you owe them, you pay with more. All of us here, there are many mortgages banks have employed you, but you don't know. They don't call you their employees. You have to bring them £5 every month, £5 every month, £10 every month, £10 every month, like that. So you are actually an employee of a television company, or of some furniture company, or of whatever. Or sometimes you are connected to about 5 different companies that you owe. You owe for furniture, you owe for this, you owe for television, you owe for school, you owe for car, you owe this. Blender you are owing. Or you don't understand what I'm saying? Pay nothing for 6 months. Because they pay nothing for 6 months. Instead of them to sell the thing to you for £200, they are selling to you for £270. So you pay nothing for whatever. So the original price is 200 and the interest is 70. So that's where they are going to make their money. So they'll say, it's 270. Buy now, pay nothing for 6 months. They have employed you. After 6 months, you work for them. You must come up with the money. If you don't, they have lawyers and other systems in place to make sure that you pay, and you work for them fully. Easy. I'm talking about entangling powers. Yeah. And in the Western world, so many of us, we are all entangled up to here. Like this. Especially if you stay for some time. If you stay for... How many are entangled? Raise your hand if you are entangled. What I'm saying, you are entangled. Yeah. You are entangled. So it's like when God has to say, okay, now all out. Press it down, all out. You see, there are some buses in Ghana, or I don't know whether they have the accelerator. You see that the speedometer, you can go up to 220 or whatever. But they have something under the accelerator so that when you press, you can't go down to prevent the bus driver from driving too fast. So you press and it's there. You see, 80, maximum 80. You press and press, it's going 80. Do you see? That's how some of us are. We have that thing under the accelerator of ministry, and it is there. So when it is time to press and now let's go, because there's a time you need to drive fast. I've been chased twice in my life. Yeah. And it is what we call high speed chase by unknown assailants. Yeah. And you need 2 things. You need to know roads, escape roads, and number 2, you need to know how to drive fast. Yeah. One time during the revolution, I was driving, and then I was in an old car. You have to know how to drive an old car fast. That's a third point. All I'm trying to say, there are times you need to open. And I was flagging down some people who were, in the way. And then this car full of, I don't know whether they were commandos or whatever, defenders of the revolution or whatever, they came by my side. And they came out of the window. And they said, park the car, stop the car. That is, if you, those of you who know Accra, from 37 towards the airport, one way like this. So I went a bit and I just parked. And so they all came out, all of these guys, they came and they parked in front. As soon as they parked, I turned again, I did a U-turn like this and I went straight back this way. And there was traffic, there were cars coming, it was one lane, one car coming this way and one going this way. I went into the middle and I drove in the middle there. Now, my car was a very old car and it could not go fast. So I needed downhill to go fast. And I had a downhill just after there. And I turned down. And I went full speed. And I prayed that they would not chase me. Because if they chased me, they would have caught me. Renault 4. AA5469. Of the car number. What do you think? Some of you don't know when you will die. Some of you maybe you've got only 2 years more. Oh yeah. And you are just playing.
When I'm 63 years old, then I'll wait for God. I'm planning to, you see, I'm into certain things. I'll be retiring around the age of 45, 50. I'll be going to retirement. And then, as for the work of the Lord, it's something that's always been on my heart. It's something that I'm planning seriously. You see, originally I wanted to be a priest. Now you do certain things, you have to pay your bills and other things. So it wasn't so practical. But by the age of about 50, 52, I think everything should be all right by the grace of God. You see, Pastor, some of you are lucky. You come from prominent homes and other things. You are blessed. You don't need anything. So that's why you'll be able to do what you are doing. I mean, some of us, we have to fend for ourselves. And also our relatives, you see, we have a lot of relatives. We have a lot of relatives that we have to look after and care for them, so because we will also look after by and by uncles and aunties and so on. Auntie Pastor, you see, you be patient with some of us. So by the age of 50, 52 and something like that, we'll be there. We'll be ready for all these things. These things you've been preaching, I admire you, I admire you. Because at times you preach and I feel it too. But I think maybe some of the younger ones will be able to accept what you are saying. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
McDonald's, they recently employed their top chief executive. He was 40 years old. Yeah. When he was appointed, within 1 month, he was diagnosed with cancer. And within about 7 months, he was dead. The highest job in McDonald's. You can imagine the millions that he earns. He worked all his life for McDonald's. He's vanished. Nobody knows the day of your end of appointment. Expiry date. You can try, but God knows when He is finished with you. Turn with me to Numbers. Have you found Numbers? Chapter 8. Numbers chapter 8. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, This is it that belongeth unto the Levites, from 20 and 5 years old, and upward they shall go in to wait upon the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And from the age of 50 years, They shall cease. They shall cease waiting upon the service thereof, and shall serve no more.
Bishop, are you sure these verses are applying to those of us around at this time? Do you think that is for us too?
And from the age of 50 years they shall cease waiting upon the service thereof, and shall serve no more, but shall minister with their brethren in the tabernacle of the congregation to keep the charge, and shall do no service. Thus shalt thou do unto the Levites touching their charge. From the age of 25 to 50. Hey brother, how many have entered the 25 already? Raise your hand if you've entered. You're planning to do something for the Lord? Keep watching. When it's time to press your accelerator and go full speed, then you are now dilly-dallying around. Something will knock your back, you will see. Numbers chapter 4. Verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, and their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upwards, even until 50. All that enter into the host to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. Mercy. 50 is still the retirement age. Keep watching. Your time is ticking away. By the time this camp is over, you'll be nearer your retirement age. You want to serve God when your face is old and wrinkled? God doesn't deserve a juicy face, a nice face, a nice voice, a nice person. You want to spend all these 25 years disentangling yourself from things. You can never use your car properly because there's something under that will never let you really go all out. When it's time to press and go all out, you don't know how to do it. I remember one night, the 3rd of November, 1991, I was driving from Kolebu Hospital in the other end home. And I was with my wife. There's the two of us. We're driving. And we have an Independence Square in Accra. So when I got there, Independence Square, there's no car. Just driving coolly with her, relaxing with her, just talking. When we got to the square, it's a beautiful square, So we went round once, and we went round the second time, and we're going round, going towards home. Then suddenly, there appeared a white Land Rover full of men. And they started to chase us in the middle of the night by 1 a.m. Yeah. So, I said, I don't know who these guys are at 1 a.m. coming to attack me. I don't know what they want to do. So we started another chase. I told you need to know 2 things, 3 things. How to make a slow car go fast. You need to know the roads. You need to know how to drive fast. Sometimes you need to go fast. This time my car was not old. But I still needed a strategy. So, as they were coming towards me, I've forgotten exactly what happened, but they followed, they were chasing now. It was now a high speed, whatever. I decided to cross and climb over to the oncoming cars. So I crossed over, I stopped my car, crossed over the curbs onto the oncoming side. You fought James Bond before, haven't you? And then I headed straight. I mean, I didn't. If any car was coming, that would be a problem. But unfortunately, no car was coming. And I headed straight into some dark area where I knew all the rest. If they can follow, they should come. And I lost them very quickly. But that was a day that I had to use the all out. I had to go all out. I couldn't afford to go. Da, 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 da.
I'm waiting till I'm 52 years old and I'll know what I'll be doing. So, Pastor, when you are preaching, take your time sometimes. Okay, take your time.
My wife was pregnant. In fact, the chase was so frightening that night that she went into labor almost immediately. She was pregnant. Went into labor. Within a few hours, she gave birth. In fact, we couldn't even get to the hospital. Yeah. There are times, because you see, in Ghana, there are people who have disappeared. Oh, yeah? There are people who have vanished. They never saw them again. And I didn't want to wear the vanishing cream. What do you think? It's wonderful, isn't it? So some of you need to now step all out for God. All out for God. All out for Jesus. All out, all out, all out. Doesn't matter whether you are here or you are there or whatever. What I'm saying is the most important thing in the world. It's more important than your little bitty financial vision. And even if you don't believe what I'm saying, you will see with time. Just like Dr. Joe, he has come to say, admit it now. I talk and I talk, you don't listen. You understand? But you have to believe. God will. You see, one day somewhere was a sister, she came around, one of our pastors. She said to me one day, she was staying here, she was soaking in something. She sent me a message. She said, Bishop, I realized that there is something that you saw long ago. You saw it long ago. It's like it's now that we are also seeing what you have been talking about. But it seems that you saw it long ago. Why don't you also see it long ago? Why don't you see it now before you get entangled? And if you are entangled, why don't you start to disentangle rather than disbelieving what we are saying? Let God use you. He is the best person to employ you. He is the best person to use your talents and your intelligence. You don't have to be rigid with God. There is a time when God says, do this. Me, I was a lay pastor par excellence. Lay ministry. Me. I wrote the book. Have you seen that book? I wrote it. Lay people in the ministry. I wrote it. Yeah. I've written a book on lay people and the ministry. One day the Lord said to me, stop what you are doing. And he used a verse. Give thyself wholly to these things, that thy profiting may appear to all. And he said to me, if I give myself fully to the ministry, I myself will see the benefit or the profiting of ministry. That it is profitable. That means that the ministry will do well by somebody giving himself fully, not just in the evenings. That's what the Lord said to me. Give thyself wholly. That's what I say. You look at your boss and your work. If you tell him you will come on Sunday afternoons and Tuesday evenings only, he will sack you. And he knows that everybody, sensible person knows that giving yourself partly to something is different from giving yourself wholly. And when I say give yourself wholly, I'm talking about going all out for God. All out for God. That's what made me leave the lay ministry and go into full time. And I didn't know how to enter. But you see, when you want to do something, and when you believe that God has spoken, you always make a way. You see people always say, oh, it's not possible, I can't do it. I talked to my sister. I said, my sister, give me money. I'm going to preach and be a pastor full time. I was in Geneva. I talked to her. I said, thank you. You give me money every month. Can you give me something? Yeah. And she said, you know what she said? She said, if you are going to preach and you are going to go to schools and preach, that's what she said. But she understood that I'm going to preach, I'm going to go to schools and preach to Lord. She said, I will give you money every month. And she gave me 100 francs or something. That's what I used. And I force. I'm at a force ball agorica. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I was playing golf and the ball was stuck, then we played the ball came out. Then the caddy said, I'm at a force ball agorica. I don't know what it means, but I think it means that he has forced the ball out. That's how your life, you have to force it out of the lay system. And force it out of the part-time system. And force it out of never working for God. And force it out of working for Pharaoh. And force it out. I'm at a force ball agorica. I'm at a force calling. I'm at a force missionary work. I'm at a force escape from pyramids. I'm at a force escape from Pharaoh. Escape from yourself. You are the most dangerous person. You need to escape from your own self and your own vision. So loans, mortgages, loans, whether it's school loans, loans for cars. You are going to buy a car. Why should you get a loan to buy a car? Work until you get enough money to buy a car. And buy a car you can afford. Don't buy a car to impress somebody. When you are buying petrol, it's like they are doing blood transfusion from you. And why do you want to have a car? Huh? Why do you want to have a car? When it's not time to have a car for visitation. Okay, it's good. Get it for visitation.